Well, some days, yeah, you do have those moments where you cry and you're like, why, God? Why do I have to live like this? I don't want to live like this.
A local woman paralyzed in a hit-and-run crash tells KRCR News Channel 7 what gets her through the day. It's been almost 5 months since a pregnant Shasta County woman was paralyzed in a hit-and-run crash. Good evening. Glad to have you with us tonight. I'm Mike Mangus. Marcella Wagner had an emergency C-section and a healthy baby boy, but now she's a quadriplegic with mounting medical bills. We've been following her progress since the crash, and Marcella spoke with KRCR News Channel 7's Chelsea Kay for the first time today. Chelsea, how's she doing?
Mike, for a woman who has faced unthinkable setbacks, Marcella Wagner, in one word, is simply inspirational.
In the moment I saw the blood dripped onto my stomach, it was like, oh, my baby. And then it was like there, I just prayed and prayed and prayed. And I was like, whatever happens, let my baby be okay.
For 32-year-old Marcella Wagner, February 9th was a day that changed her life forever. It started out like any other day. 7 months pregnant, she was on her way to class at Chico State, where she had just started nursing school.
It's really competitive, and so I applied, and then I got in, and I was like, oh, it's meant to be, So, everything, all the chips were falling in place.
She was on Interstate 5 near the Jellies Ferry exit when a white Honda Pilot cut her off.
When you have those close calls and you're like, whoo, that could have been. It's right as my car went off the road, I was like, I'm really getting in an accident.
Marcella was rushed to the hospital and was forced to undergo an emergency C-section. She delivered her first child into the world, a healthy baby boy, Logan Otis Campbell.
There was not one scratch on him. He hasn't had one problem.
After a month at Mercy Medical Center, she went to a rehab hospital in San Jose to start healing, then came back to the North State last month. Now Marcella says it's all about pushing forward. She comes to the Rose Center in Redding a few times a week for physical therapy and exercises to help her gain strength.
Okay, well, let me see if I can do one more set. Everything is so slow and takes a lot of work to develop just the skills I need to do. Simple things like rolling over in bed. I have no triceps, so I can't my arm right there and then it falls.
Marcella and her family are staying with in-laws while their home is being remodeled to become wheelchair accessible.
Basically, we've not been at home in 5 months. One day we woke up and went to school and work and just never gone back home since then.
Her family is also dealing with mounting medical bills. Last week, Marcella's case was cited in the Supreme Court decision in support of Obamacare.
Just to be have, a Supreme Court justice read any article that even just mentioned me in passing was like, wow.
For Marcella, some days are better than others, but she manages to stay positive and not let her situation get her down.
Sometimes you're like, this is a dream, I'm going to wake up, you know what I mean? And then it just comes crashing around you, you know what I mean? Like, wow, this really sucks, And then you learn to cope and you learn to live and you move on, you know what I mean? You look at the good things in life.
Ultimately, Marcella says she's learning to deal with what she calls her new normal.
At a certain point, you accept, this is me and this is and you learn to fight as much as you can to make the best of your life,
Marcella also told me she wants to thank the community for the amount of support they have shown her over the last few months. If you want to help out, you can always drop donations off at any North Valley bank for Marcella Wagner New Beginnings Foundation. Chelsea Kay, KRCR News Channel 7.
Thank you, Chelsea. Love stories like that where your own problems suddenly seem very, very tiny.